Hello and blessings, beautiful souls. Sarava and Ashe. My name is Avalon Cameron and welcome back to my channel. Today I would like to talk about ways to connect with your Tarot Oracle Lenormand decks on the fly. Now, I realize for myself that I'm rather ritualistic in my approach. And what this means is that I take a great deal of time and pour a great deal of energy into preparing my decks for use. And this is because I work with my decks in ritual space. I do a lot of spirit work with my decks. And so I like to be able to prepare them and to make sure that their energy is perfect for that experience within my sacred space. And that gets me in this position where I'm constantly smoke cleansing, where I'm gridding, where I'm placing my decks out under the moon and doing all the things, right? But it isn't always very practical, nor is it something that I can absolutely always do with each and every one of my decks in order to begin using them. There is a lot of time and energy that I pour into the preparation of my decks, and this is not something that I can really do realistically for every single one of my decks. The ones that I use most often, yes. The ones that mean the most to me, my absolute favorites, they are the ones that consistently get this treatment because I know that I'm going to be reaching for them time and time again. But for new decks, for decks that I'm not sure about, for decks that I have in my collection that might be my second favorite, my third favorite, for instance, there are other things that I like to do with these decks to prepare for working with them and to connect with them. And this is also really handy for someone like me who likes to order a lot of decks online. I get my decks, I unbox them right outside the post office. I look at them and I want to use them in that exact moment. And so I might sneak off to the park and I might start playing with them. And in that instance, I haven't had time to put them in a crystal grid, to smoke cleanse it, to do all the weird and wonderful mystical things that I like to do with a deck. And so what I do are the following. So I'm just going to run through a few quick and easy things that I like to do to connect myself with decks on the fly. So things that don't require, or techniques that don't require any kind of prop, any kind of tool. It's just you, the deck, and that's it. So let's get into it. So I have here the Naked Heart Tarot, and the Naked Heart Tarot is going to be my demonstration deck for the day. By the way, if you have the Naked Heart Tarot, let me know what you think of it. I absolutely love this deck. The Fool card is just, oh, so beautiful. The Sage card is so beautiful. The Magician card is so beautiful. I love it. So what's your favorite card? Do you have this deck? Like, let's just have a little conversation about that first and foremost. And a big shout out to Gillian Seawild, who is the creator of this little masterpiece. Anyways, this is not about the Naked Heart Tarot. This is about some quick and easy ways to connect with your deck on the fly. Right. First of all, I'll unbox the deck, or I'll just grab the deck and then I reacquaint myself with it. And this means having a really quick flick through the deck. And I just look at the cards, I connect with the energy, I determine what kind of a reading this deck would be good for. Does it feel attuned? Does it not feel attuned? I just reacquaint myself with the imagery, especially if it's been a deck that's been sitting on my shelf for some time, or if it's a brand new deck. I like to do a full flip through and really look and just sort of like acclimate myself to the energy of the deck itself. And, you know, notice any quirks and notice any synchronicities and just get a feel for the artwork and the energy. Once I've done that, I will then grab my deck and I will mindfully breathe on it or blow on it. I will, from all four corners, and then I'll shuffle. And what this does for me is it cleanses, it's a cleansing breath. I'm doing this mindfully. As I breathe on the cards, I'm breathing into the cards a little piece of my life force. I am also connecting mindfully with not just the moment, but the deck itself. As someone who's done a little bit of yoga in my time, what yoga has done for me over time was to enable me to see the value of the breath and how core it is to the practice itself. And when I am grounding and centering, when I'm meditating, when I'm balancing my chakras, I'm always very focused on the breath. And this in turn creates this really profound sense of mindfulness where I am 100% immersed in the moment and 100% focused on the task at hand. This deepens the bond with the deck, and this allows you to be 100% present and to work with that deck in this state of mindfulness and groundedness. And so breathing on my decks like this, really activating the air, and then more mindful and extended breaths. It's up to you how you do this. Sometimes I don't have the time for those mindful extended breaths, but even just breathing on them really quick, like it's very quick, it's very energizing, and it still connects me to the breath, and it still connects me to the moment and brings in that sense of mindfulness. Following that, what I like to do next is to place the deck itself to my third eye so that I can clearly see with intention, and I breathe as I'm doing this. And then I place it to my lips so that I can speak the truth, speak what I see, trust my intuition, speak with confidence. And then I place it to my heart. And this is so that I can deliver my messages with love, with intention, with honor, and with respect. And so third eye, lips, heart. Quick and easy. And you can say some things if that helps. You can say, for me to see with intention, for me to speak with love and kindness, for me to, you know, and you can make it your own, basically. Make it your own. And then following this, I call in my guides and I will knock. 1, 2, 3. And I'll stop and I'll wait. And I'll just sit there and I'll wait for that moment. And I'll just wait for that moment. I'll wait for that feeling of being surrounded by that beautiful spirit energy, that feeling of it's now right, that feeling of it's now time, just that little nod from spirit to begin working with the deck. And that is exactly what I do. I also like to give it a really good shuffle. A really, really good shuffle to energize the cards. Shuffling is perhaps the most important thing, really, when you think about it. Shuffling mindfully once I've knocked on those cards. And the knock is very symbolic of, hello, I'm ready, I'm here, can you please let me in? And it's just something that I like to do. I can't explain why. It is in fact a common practice, but I can't explain why other people do it. I can only explain how I like to do it. And also I like to path work with my tarot, and at times when I am path working, I see the card and I see it in a doorway, and I knock on the door so that I can go into the card. And so when I knock on the outside of the deck itself, and I just do that, it kind of puts me in this journey space, and that's very helpful to me if I'm about to do a reading. So I'm giving it a really, really good shuffle. A really, really good shuffle with a couple of, and good shuffle with a, and more shuffles with a, and just keep working on it and working on it until you feel like it is ready. But these things are very simple to do. They're not something that require any tools at all. This is a conversation and a practice, a mindfulness practice between you and the deck itself. And it doesn't matter what kind of a relationship you want to cultivate long term with the deck. If you feel like this deck, if the deck is new, for instance, and you feel like this deck reads beautifully after that, you may want to go that next step and do that big full ritualistic kind of cleansing and connection. But that might be enough for you. You might have connected mindfully enough with the deck itself to not have to worry about doing that. And I think that for me personally, I place a lot of emphasis on ritual, but for others, ritual isn't as important as it is to me. And so I want to encourage those who aren't really as, addicted to ritual as I am, to still go there with their deck, to spend that time, to create that connection and that bond, and to allow yourself to really feel like you have connected mindfully with a deck. When you connect mindfully with a deck, I find that it's really easy to read with. You've taken the time to sort of get to know it, acclimate to its energy. And when you are in a reading space with that deck, it's kinder to you. It speaks to you a little bit easier. You're able to connect with it, pull those messages, meaningful messages, mind you, pull those messages out and share them with either your journal, yourself, your partner, or your client. It doesn't really matter. But the fact of the matter is, when you go through that process, when you take the time, when you're patient, when you nurture that connection, and when you're present and mindful about it, then the experience that you can have with your deck is so much nicer in the long run and also in the moment. And so I just thought that I'd share these quick and easy ways to connect with your deck on the fly, things that you can do no matter where you are and no matter what you have on hand. As long as you've got your deck and you have yourself ready and present and prepared to do the work, then this is probably something that will benefit you, and hopefully you can put it to good use. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little different because, well, usually I like to go all out with my deck cleansing and consecration and bonding rituals. But there is a time and a place for deep ritual, and there is a time and a place for mindful ritual. There's a time and a place for simple ritual, and I'm in this space of mind, this frame of mind, where simple ritual and deep ritual need to find a comfortable balance. And so I thought that it would be really beneficial to do this video to remind myself as well of how easy it is to connect with your decks and to create that bond and that sense of meaningfulness without any ritual paraphernalia whatsoever. I love ritual paraphernalia, but you don't need it all of the time. You can get there, get results, and the experience can be all-encompassing and profound without that paraphernalia that I love so much. I sincerely hope that you enjoyed this video, beautiful souls. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Share it around, leave a comment, let me know what kind of things that you like to do to just connect with your deck on the fly. I'm always open to learning from others as well and to hearing what they do that is so amazing and that works for them, because I know that other people do these types of things, and I'm very open to hearing what it is that you personally like to do to connect with your decks on the fly. So with all of that said and done, I'm wishing you so much love, luck, peace and joy, and I will see you in the next video.